What's up guys, the Game Dragon here, and I welcome you all to my Payday 2 Armory. For today's video, I'll be covering up the first sniper rifle that has been added to Payday 2 in part of the Gauge Sniper Weapon Pack, being the MSR Sniper Rifle. Of course, in-game they call it the Rattlesnake Sniper Rifle, so let's talk a little bit about, well, a little brief history of this weapon. It was designed around close to the, in the, early 2010s, and it was designed to be more of a use and to sort of a competition, have the precision sniper rifle competition, where the MSR wins it out of how very accurate of its performance, and well, they try to make it appeal for the United States Marine Corps to adopt this weapon and replace the M40A5 sniper rifle, but due to the costs and the caliber, it's a little bit different, and it's still been up to debate, but so far not really much word coming out of it anymore. And this is one of the few in this game, a military sniper rifle, where how Gage got his hands on this weapon, well, either have someone else or one of the couriers must have, stole this from a military stockpile. So anyway, we have the stats of the magazine of 10, which is actually very accurate. It depends on the caliber you're firing. Total ammo of 40, rate of fire of 60 RPM, damage of 446, or 246, I mean, whoops, my bad. Accuracy of 88, stability of 28, concealment of 5, threat of 26, and reload time of 3.7 seconds. So this is, to me, more of a medium damage sniper rifle of its class, and does shoot a bit faster with the bow, but could do a little bit more. Of course, it has some excellent accuracy, but not really good stability, like every sniper rifle is. So we'll go ahead and see the model of the weapon. So, by the looks of it, this looks nothing like the MSR I have pictured it, because I thought it wasn't the MSR because it looks so different, because this is a fictional wooden stock. Yeah, so they made it fictional. I'm not sure why, but anyway, well, we have the we have the barrel, and we have the little at the end of the fretted port of the muzzle flash, where at the end of the muzzle we see there's little holes on the side, which probably would help the weapon have a much better controlled when firing the bullet out, so get all that gas leaks from both sides of the gun instead of just the middle part where I think it would. That's why it makes it more, I don't know, maybe more, steady in your shots. Who knows? Anyway, we have, of course, a little accessory rail right close to the end of the gun, right close to the barrel too, which is the you have the free pick any rails. I presume the top one here is to help you to mount a laser sight, because they normally would mount a laser sight or a military laser sight on top of the weapon, and of course on the sides are for gadgets, but you have all those options. Of course, you have that big sling. Now that they put one here right below the handguard, and one all the way up to the stock. And now we take a closer look. We'll take a look at the readings where the scope mount is for the Payday rail when you mount sights. Is this for Rattlesnake? 308 REM. REM is short for remitting, so it shoots the 30-08 round. which is a very powerful caliber for sure. I'll refer manual before moving optic, which is where the scope is. And as we closer look, it says Rattlesnake and Pat Preberg. I'm not really sure what it's meant. I think it could be where the weapon was made. Not really too sure. I'm not really known for most locations in the US. After all, this is an American sniper rifle. Of course, we have what reads 1244 on the magazine, which I'm not really sure what is meant. And of course, we have the magazine release, just like you see on the AK. That's how you take it out. As we go to the right side, of course, we see where the bolt is. That's how you, of course, rechamber the next round. You can see the bolt, and it says more stuff on the side. Looks like a serial number, and of course, I will go for this once, and that is the scope right here. This is the default scope, which every sniper rifle has in this game. The exact same default scope. So what we have here, it's called Trigonom Short Dot. And at the top it says 1 to 6 times zoom, or to 200 meters short dot. And it's a little small reading, I can't say. And then, well, that's basically the same scope you're gonna see what everyone's gonna run. So let's actually look at the attachments. We have the long barrel, which increases accuracy with the mine's concealment, which looks pretty long. Barrel extension will only have a sniper suppressor, so here it is. So that's what it looks like. I mean, by the looks of the suppressor, this one looks a little bit more burnt out compared to the other suppressors we've seen. But this one looks ready to be melted off. I don't know. It looks like it looks like they just took the suppressor, and it seems that they found a suppressor that is almost close to being burnt off from using it over much. But I highly doubt people were able to fire this weapon for so long and for many rounds to put in. But it just looks really weird to see it blacked out like this. But anyways, for the stats, we have, of course, minus damage, accuracy, concealment, and fret, but increased stability. It just looks really weird for this suppressor to have this color and have it just burn out like this. Like, it's like someone just cremated it, this suppressor, like just burn it off, or just trying to cook it and try and make it like make it like a squeaky toy out of it. Anyways, we have the boost. But there's one uniqueness to the boost for the sniper rifles, and that also applies to a few special weapons. It gets a total ammo boost, which is actually incredible. And honestly, I would rock this always have this on for every sniper rifle you can have. It's a save, it's a lifesaver. Now let me get rid of the suppressor. And now we have, well, now, a more cool thing with this, you get the angled sight for sniper rifles, which only applies for sniper rifles right here. And you can see where it actually mounts, right here. And it looks a little bit makeshift. Of course, there's some screws to help it to mount where the sight is. And you can see the iron sight's just right there. Though I'm not really personally a fan with these iron sights. I find they're kind of a little more destructive. Of course, you can able to put on the other gadgets right here. You can see the 45-degree sight, but it doesn't look that good because this large scope is in a way, because where the notch is, it really obstructs the view. Of course, you have other ones as well. Now, if you're putting in an actual gadget, funny enough, they don't actually mount the little gadgets on these pictinic rails here. Instead, they have it right close to the side of the gun, even though there's no way to support it with a pigtail rail, unless they either drill the piece of the wood and attach this little small pigtail rail on it to mount other gadgets, which only defeats the purpose of these accessories. And of course the sights are, well, you can put any sight you want, but there are more two unique sights to the sniper rifles. You have the fair magnifying scope and the box buddy sight. And what it tells you, well, you can see the way it looks of it. Looks a lot better. It gives you a range finder. It tells you the range that you're shooting your targets at. You can see all other details, which is very helpful, especially with the skills you have, like high value target ace. Of course, this is a more basic version of the scope. Pretty small, very round. Looks like a proper sniper scope. And then we have the box buddy sight, and this is from the Gauge Spec Ops pack, while the Fair Magnify Scope is from the Gauge Sniper weapon pack. And you can see it says box AR, and you can see it's mostly a square shape if you look through the scope. I mean, this looks like a thermal scope than anything else by the looks of it. Kind of reminds me of it, and I mean, this looks more fitting off for a futuristic style. So it's kind of cool they add that. And of course, we have the tactical aluminum body, which that is the actual body of the MSR sniper rifle. Now let's see, we have a much better look of it. You can see there's so many rails on this gun. It has a much larger Picatinny rail now to assess more optics. There's even more freaking Picatinny rails, even some at the bottom. That's which normally the wooden one didn't have. And you also have other stuff on the sides. Like you also have these ones for like a 45-degree sight. Honestly, this would where the sight would be perfect for a 45-degree sight. But let's see how the gadget would look. Except it's still there. And I wonder how they would attach it to this. It's just so weird to see it go like this. You can see it holds off to, and you can see a little bit clearer. Let me get rid of the scope. Let's get a small optic. There we go. You can see this piece is not even stuck together. It's just floating. It's not even clipping to it. So this thing, the gadget would have been basically would have been loose and would have aimed like a 45-degree up, which is quite ridiculous. And of course, if I try out a hybrid sight, well, it would fit right here. Although this weapon did have a lot of room to go with it. Even though there's a lot more rooms on the Picatinny rail, they still decided to put it there. And now let me show you the fully decked out MSR I used. And you can see the stats. Of course, I have more ammo, and essentially the stats look roughly the same, except there's more concealment, but except less concealment and a little more accuracy. So it's essentially the same gun. But here's what I have. So you can see, it looks like a normal sniper rifle. I don't have anything goofy looking on here. And then I have a 45-degree sight. And even though I look aim, that little part of the V-notch for the adjusting for the scope is still blocking a view. And if you try to look at from a degree angle, hard to try to get it perfectly. It's hard to do it with a controller, but yeah, that little notch will be in the way. But you can see how beautiful it looks, and now I can see more details with the gun. It says modeled R709, and yep, we finally got some more words out of it after all the sling was in the way. Oh, I finally see what's up here in the scope. Oh, look at that, it actually says Thanatos on the scope. And you can adjust the range you want, or adjust the range. well, that's it about the MSR. So, well, without further ado, let's snipe. Let's go snipe some people at well, at down range. Hey, welcome back, guys. So, to make this test a little bit more interesting and a little bit, I guess, fair, for the sniper rifle for this one, where I'm just testing out grouping, I'm just gonna try and go far away as I can, and basically have my back turned to this dumpster, and try to aim as I go. So you can see, when I aim, I have basically idle sway with the weapon. Any sniper rifle has this, and I don't think it's effective by, if you have like a large accuracy, you're still gonna have idle sway, even if you reach 100 accuracy. And there's no other way for you to hold your breath, which kind of sucks. So that's what it is. Looks pretty standard, but though not really impressive scope. So anyway, let's load this thing up and let's see how precision this sniper rifle is. And I don't think even crouching helps with the idle sway as well. So I'm just doing all this by standing up. So I'll shoot, of course, 5 shots for, you know, a smaller group, and then I'll try and shoot much as I can. Or I'll fire all of them. Actually, I'll fire all of these instead. Going hot. Now you can see it takes a long time for it to rechamber the bolt, but by looking at this grouping, it's a little bit okay. Even though it does have like good 88 accuracy, it's still pretty good. It's just at long range, and it doesn't help that this weapon has idle sway, so it makes it much more challenging. But I think if you just equip a sight, you don't get the idle sway. Okay, now for the test 2 and 3. I actually had to set myself to back up this wall here, and I'll try to spam as much as I can to see how well it goes without me controlling the recoil. Well, I do have to say that with a bolt action sniper rifle, there's essentially no recoil, because once you fire that shot, it does go up, but the moment that you rechamber the next round, you're already at the center of your center speed will be at the same where it previously is. Going hot. Okay, that was actually surprising for me. When I first shot, this is the first shot, but then every time I rechamber the next round, I just rechamber like this, and then boom, it just keeps hitting the stuff on the floor. So it definitely doesn't help, because when I fire this, when I try to fire the same round, it actually stops right here because it does the animation. Let me show you again. You see right there, you see where my scope is while I'm still aiming? It's still... let's try again. I'll do 2 more shots. Like that. The moment that the bolt rechambered the next round so it can fire it again, and the moment I press the fire button, it goes right here, so it doesn't go in the center like most sniper rifles do in most video games. So that's actually quite interesting. So okay, so now that gets me excited for test 3, where I try to control the recoil, or in this case trying to control and where the next round goes once the next round gets rechambered. Alright, here goes. Okay, I did try my best as I can, but it's just... goes up and down. It's just really hard to try to get a grouping with just the basic of the sniper rifle. But you see the stats I have for my fully decked out MSR. I don't think there's going to be any difference whatsoever. But it still never hurt to try. So I'll get out my fully decked out MSR sniper rifle in a second. See you in a bit. Hey, welcome back, guys. And here's my fully decked out MSR, and I have to say, it looks damn beautiful. Like, seriously. I thought the yellow color that I seen in Modern for Free looks really nice, but this, with black, it looks even better. Anyway, same thing with the test, and of course I have my little 45-degree sight. So anyway, we'll hit here, and you can see where my range is. You see the little battery, or the red meter? Depends where I'm aiming at. It shows, of course here shows infinite, so it doesn't reach 0, but at the vent here shows the meter, and of course the closer I get, the easier it is. So it's actually kind of nice little gizmo to have. Anyways, now we're gonna aim. And we'll see, and you can see, even I have some of the best accuracy sometimes, even with some skills, you're still going to have idle sway. And you can see the scope is a lot more different. The reticle is different. You see there's like different lines in the crosshairs. This will help you to adjust the range, because in real life, the bullet will not go where the dot is. So if you're shooting at a target at a much longer range, you're going to need to aim a bit up and try to aim where the target's going to be, not where it's at. Because if you aim directly at the target, you will guarantee to miss. So, instead, of course in this game, there's none of that, no ballistic, no gravity, no wind. So it's not like a Sniper League game, which I should definitely do another Sniper League game sometime, maybe for Sniper League free. Anyway, enough talking about Sniper League, let's get to the shooting. Pretty smooth tight grouping. Looks pretty damn small. Okay, to make it a little more interesting for the test, since I have the 45-degree sight, let's see, look at the auto sway I have on this. When you compare it to the scope, there's quite a lot. But when I switch to the 45-degree sight, it's barely there. So I'm gonna do the first test with the 45-degree sight and see how this works. Plus you can see that sexiness of that bolt rechambering the next round. You can see the grouping is basically two googly eyes. Honestly, it's just, you can see why it's better. Okay, let me try this at least once with the scope. Let's see if I try to make the same results. Of course, you can see the grouping is just one spot. Even though it may look like it's missed a line, sometimes you may be aiming like above to right to your target rather than, you know, in the center. Alright, but this time for test 2 and 3, I'll just move all the way back here and see how bad is it. I'll do 2 tests with this with the both sights. Here's with the sniper scope. Going hot. just keep keep tap firing the R2 button so it can keep firing off shots at its go. But you can see it's much more lower than it is on way to the ground. It's much more lower, so it makes it much more easier to control. Probably helped because I gave it some stability to the weapon. I think I could give it even more stability if I did not have the 45-degree sight, but maybe have the LED combo instead. Okay, let me try with test 2 how it looks. Of course, this was probably due to the fact I did it long range. But so, to make it a little fair, I'm going to try to see how it looks with this. If it's really fair. Okay, it's really hard to tell if I actually aim any at the bottom. But I do see the 2 at the top here, and funny enough, it doesn't look out of place. Alright, let me see if I can try to do test free while I'm trying to control the recoil. I feel the result of this test is just like the very first test with the base MSR. But now let me try to do it. I'm controlling it with the 45-degree sight. And no, I will not be doing all this for every sniper rifle. Only one that comes with the sniper scope and one with the 45-degree sight. Alright, let me try it with this again. So, going on. Okay, at that point, I didn't have to even move it at all. I kind of did it a little bit. But you can see the grouping is much more better than I have with the scope. And I think the reason for it is, well, it has some idle sway. You can see it right here. It just keeps bobbling up from side to side in a more of an 8-figure pattern. Well, with this, mostly the gun itself is moving, but the reticle stays the same. I don't know how to describe it, how this... You don't need to hold your breath for this, you don't need to worry about idle sway for this. But you do have idle sway for that, which is kind of ridiculous. Well, that's enough testing and further studies, which I actually enjoyed testing out these sniper rifles and never what I thought to see. Well, time to include my overall with the MSR. See you in a sec. Overall, I do think this is a really okay sniper rifle. It's definitely not the best in this class, considering this is a medium damage sniper rifle. But if I had to pick between this and the other lever action rifle from the Butcher Western weapon pack, I'm definitely gonna pick this, the MSR over it, just because I like the more modern look of the gun. Well, in terms of the aluminum body, and I love that I can reload all my 10 rounds in one go, as opposed to load up one bullet at a time, where the lever action does. Of course, it's very accurate, but there's also another sniper rifle that's similar to this, and that's, of course, a PC version for a PC exclusive, which is the R700 sniper rifle, which you get from the Fugitive Weapon Pack, which also contains one of the best weapons in that said year for 2020, which was the M60. But it's a pretty okay sniper rifle. Of course, what makes up for it, and not in terms of having lower firepower, but having a little bit more 12 ammo, which I certainly dig. And they had another lever action sniper rifle, but they made it much more lower damage. I think it was like a Bernetti lever action sniper rifle, like a more modernized lever action rifle. But except I still have my fun with this sniper rifle. I still enjoy it. Though I would not enjoy the wooden stock, but definitely the other aluminum body part. Hell, this is also well, really good to take out those pesky snipers, especially if you're trying to go for a headshot. Thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, we'll be covering up an LMG. Until then, farewell and have a wonderful day, everyone.